Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Popularity and Price. Today is Tuesday, November 28th. We had new highs, lead new lows, 94 to 14. I do want to make a note that 50 of the 94 new highs closed below their opening print. It was a pretty turbulent day. We'll take a look at a couple charts here. We'll start with the S&P. You can kind of see, I'll get rid of this junk. You can kind of see the S&P traded outside of its previous 2-day range. It's quite the fluctuations. We'll go to a 15-minute chart and you can see kind of massive up and down move. Pretty turbulent tape, if you ask me. We'll jump into the best of the best, which was Birkenstocks. This was a new issue IPO. They make, I think they're called wooden clogs. I don't know. They got the cork, little sole. They're supposed to help your feet, help your posture. I have a pair of Birkenstocks. I'm sure a lot of you other folks have Birkenstocks and are familiar with this brand. They've been around for a long, long time. They went public in October, breaking out to new all-time highs. Super strong day today with a little nice uptick in volume. Few of the other winners I want to take a look at are this Skyward Specialty Insurance Group. This name has been on our list a few times. Had another strong day today, up 4.5%. Look at a weekly chart, up and to the right. Exactly what we like to see. Geyer Therapeutics is up 15.6% today. This is a $1.8 billion pharmaceutical company, biopharmaceutical company. It focuses on the development and commercialization of hydronidone for treatment of metabolic dysfunction associated steatohepatitis, MASH associated liver fibrosis. Again, as I've kind of mentioned on a few of these videos, I don't typically trade some of these smaller cap biotechs. I don't have a super strong understanding of the biotech space, and so I'm typically hands-off, but uber strong nonetheless. Long-term chart doesn't look great. Actually looks atrocious, but strong day today, so we'll make a note of it. PDD Holdings popped on earnings today. This is one of the larger companies out of China and gapped up and gained 18%. So these earnings reports are unaudited, and I know we've seen a debacle. Stocks like Luckin Coffee a few years back, they committed fraud. However, they rebounded, but they did commit fraud. And just that kind of asterisk of unaudited earnings gets me a little worrisome. That said, this is a $156 billion company. So to me, it seems less likely that there's that risk of fraud. But because these earnings reports are unaudited, it's something you got to keep an eye on. So we're still 70 points below our all-time highs. But we'll see if this earnings gap can continue to drift higher. We saw a nice reaction the last 2 quarters. And we got our third one here. Nice breakaway gap. Affirm was up big again today, up 11.5%. Closing in on this former high from August 2022. Take a look at the weekly chart. Like we mentioned yesterday, we still got a lot of work to do to get back to these all-time highs, but strong relative strength. There's a lot of buy now and pay later action with Black Friday and the holidays, so need to keep an eye on Affirm. They also have a pretty heavy short interest. Not exactly sure where they're sitting at today. Let's pop up FinViz. I know sometimes these numbers aren't the most accurate, but it'll give us a general idea. So our short float is just over 20%. That's pretty significant. There's going to be a lot of forced buyers in this name. HMY, which is a gold mining company, gained 5.5%, breaking out just below these highs of July 2020. Still got a lot of overhead resistance, but strong relative strength to say the least. If we take a look at gold in and of itself, we are pressing up against these highs. And I know there's a lot of eyeballs watching this chart. So if gold breaks out, it's likely HMY will continue to see some relative strength. Onto the lows. Our worst of the worst today was Walgreens Boots Alliance. And this is kind of a funky name because if we adjust for dividends, the stock broke down and closed at its lowest price since 1998. We have to zoom out to a monthly to get the full picture, and it is absolutely horrifying. ATRX is down 12.5%. There had to have been some sort of news catalyst, but I kind of scoured the internet and didn't find anything super credible. It is a $1.7 billion medical supplies company. I know they're going to be presenting at a conference. Going to be presenting at Piper Sandler's 35th Annual Healthcare Conference tomorrow. So perhaps some news got leaked about what they're going to be talking about tomorrow and triggered some sell orders. And when that momentum ball gets rolling, things can happen quick. So it didn't close at a new relative low. I mean, closed at its lowest price since November 13th. What's that? 2 weeks ago. But it did have a nasty tick flush lower, which was actually its lowest price since April 2020. So let's take a look at the 15-minute chart, and you can see this vicious action. Something triggered right here at noon Mountain Time. Last one up is BRP. So we mentioned yesterday, insurance groups have been strong. We look at names like PGR, ticked a new 52-week high today. I think that's an all-time high. New all-time high today. AFL, Aflac, also strong relative strength. That's the monthly chart. But then we have some of these smaller, this is a $2 billion insurance company that are breaking down. So interesting divergence here within the insurance space. Could make for a strong pair trade. Buy the leaders, short the laggards. So BRP Group operates through the following segments: insurance advisory solutions, underwriting capacity and technology solutions, and Main Street insurance solutions. We are based out of Tampa, Florida. Yesterday, the one we touched on, I think, was the Bahamas, somewhere down there in the Caribbean. So that's all we got for today. Keep an eye on the tape tomorrow. We're still kind of trading in this sideways range, so really until we see a massive move in either direction, going to be sitting on our hands a little bit. So have a great Tuesday. We'll see you all tomorrow.